Hey everybody, this is my response to JosephODonnell's questions from about a week or so ago. I guess I'm slacking here, but just been kind of busy with the kids and all that kind of good stuff. So have a few moments. I wanted to try to get one done. So let me bring up your questions and see if I can answer them. Your first one was, what turntable do you use? And you're asking pros and cons. I can tell you right off the bat, I'm not going to know pros and cons because all I know is that it's worked great for me. Let me pick it up here real quick. You'll be able to see it's the Project Debut 3, and it's been nothing but great for me, so I don't have any complaints, and I'm not a complete audiophile geek, so I don't know all the ins and outs of all the details. It's just got the standard stuff that came with it, so I may have some upgrades at some point, but I'm really happy so far. Number two, do you play an instrument? I do, but I haven't really played in about 4 years. I was in bands most of my adult life up until I got married and had kids, so I haven't played for about 4 years since my daughter was born, but I can show you. I have a pretty cool instrument here. I sold off most of my stuff. I mostly played bass, but I got a really cool guitar that I inherited from my grandmother. See if I can back you up here a little bit. It's maybe I can back up so you can get a little bit better of a view. This is, believe it or not, an electric guitar that was made by Martin. Martin made electric guitars, as far as I know, only for about 2 years, maybe 3 years in the late 60s. And so this is kind of a cool little collector's item. I don't have any plans on letting it go because it's a heirloom, it's a family thing, but it's just kind of cool to see something that's probably fairly rare, I guess. I do have to prove to you that I can play. I don't know, my fingers are all really bad right now because I don't play anymore, so, and it's, oh god, it's out of tune. Play a couple notes, but literally, that's like the first time I've picked up a guitar probably in, I don't know, 2 years, so I fiddled around a little bit when I first had my daughter. Okay, anyway, next question. Do you have a record you just use this to fill a collection? I don't have anything at the moment because most of my the stuff I have, I don't have anywhere near a full collection of any particular artist that I like, but as far as that question goes, I would do it. If I needed to fill in an album that I didn't like by an artist I liked, I would do it just because that's sort of part of my psyche in collecting. I like the idea of full sets of artists. So yeah, I would do that. Next. Would you rather have an original pressing or one that's been remastered? It's sort of a complex answer to that, but I would just say the short of it, I would say I prefer the original pressing only because part of the original reason why I got into collecting records was the collecting aspect of it. I've always loved music, and you can see I have a bunch of CDs and stuff, but records, while I love the sound of them as well, there's, part of the reason why I got into it is the idea of picking up artifacts from, 20, 30, 40 years ago. So, but if something came out and it sounded better, I do kind of like that you can get an album that is in perfect condition and you don't have to worry about, the scratches and stuff you deal with old stuff. Do I collect 7-inches? You know what? I don't really. I have a few, and I should have been prepared. I don't know where they are, but all I've got is really mostly stuff that I've inherited from other people who just gave it to me. So they're mostly top 40 kind of stuff from the 80s. I do have a couple of 7-inches from indie bands from the 90s that I got kind of purely out of curiosity at the time, because I didn't have a record player in the 90s, but I have a couple 7-inches from bands like Guided by Voices and the Grifters, who were some of the bands I was really into at the time. What made you start collecting? God, this is going to be a boring answer, but I don't really know. It just seemed like a natural progression in a way. I think the allure was that I think I just kind of got burnt out on buying CDs, and part of it maybe is nostalgia in a way. I started only 3 years ago as far as the record collecting stuff, so maybe as I get older, I have the nostalgia for a different era. And there's all the stuff that everybody says a zillion times as far as the artwork and handling it, and that's all true. But I don't really have a specific aha moment where I was going, I'm going to start collecting vinyl. It just kind of naturally started happening gradually. I've always had records since I was little, and I had a record player as a kid, and at some point in the mid '80s, I switched to CD and tape, and I always had a few records hanging around, but I didn't really start getting into buying. I didn't have a record player until I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and then I really didn't do much with that. It was a really cheapy one that was about $70 or something, and then I got a decent one about 3 years ago when I really started getting serious about it. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Sorry that it's such a late response, but wanted to get this in before I procrastinate anymore. Anyway, thanks.